What's up guys, it's Chris from Daily Tech, and you've just stumbled across a new series exploring an amazing PS4 Pro setup. We're gonna be looking at the PS4 Pro hooked up to an amazing gaming TV, the Samsung KS8000, along with the PSVR and some really cool accessories. This series is a pretty epic undertaking, so I'm breaking things up into mini episodes, which are gonna focus on things like the setup and the settings, a demo with testing, and of course my review along with a comparison of the Xbox One S. And just a quick note, if you see anything in this setup that you want to buy, I'll have the links down below in the description, and I'm also giving away a PS4 Pro as part of this series, so make sure to hit that link down in the description as well. So this is episode 1, and that means I've got a lot of boxes to tear into, and while I'm talking about that, let me go ahead and introduce you to all the components of this setup. And hopefully if you're looking for some recommendations for your own PS4 Pro setup, then you'll find some good ideas here. Now bringing this setup to life is gonna be the job of the 2016 Samsung KS8000 TV, which is great for 4K HDR gaming, partly because it has such a low input lag, as low as 21.1 milliseconds under game mode, even at 4K at 60 Hz and HDR. Now subscribers will recognize this TV from the Xbox One S coverage I did not too long ago. If you haven't seen that content, go ahead and check that out as well. Of course, no amazing PS4 Pro setup would be complete without the PSVR, along with the PlayStation Move motion controllers and the PlayStation camera. And I also went ahead and picked up the charging and display stand for all the VR accessories, because otherwise there's a really good chance of getting buried in a bunch of clutter. Now to test the PSVR, I went ahead and picked up Batman Arkham VR, and I'm also gonna be testing some PS4 Pro optimized titles, including Rise of the Tomb Raider, among others. Also, I went ahead and picked up Plantronics' new gaming headset, which is optimized specifically to work with the PSVR. So with everything finally unboxed, it's time to get it all set up, and this is probably the least fun part of getting a bunch of new gear, but it is important to make sure everything's set up properly and looking good. And just in case you're wondering, the TV stand that I'm working with here comes from IKEA. Again, the link will be down in the description. For me, I wanted to make sure that this setup was gonna be as clean and as organized as possible with as many cords out of sight as I could get, but I realized right off the bat that that was gonna be a major challenge here. With all this gear, there's just so many cords. You've got 4 cords plugged into the PS4 Pro and 5 or 6 cords plugged into the processor unit, and then all of the cords coming into the Samsung port dock, and that's not counting all the other devices with cords like the Apple TV or other gaming consoles that I just happen to have set up here. And the PSVR cables actually really present a problem with this setup, because I wanted to run all the cables through the back of the TV console so they'd be out of the way, but that didn't work because it didn't stretch far enough to the headset. So I'm actually gonna end up having to unplug and replug everything in through the front every time I wanna use that. But I am actually really glad that I picked up that stand for all the VR accessories, because now I can use 1 cord instead of 3 to charge all that stuff, and that does help. Now I mentioned that I want to keep everything organized, and to help me do that, I ended up using a label maker. Now some of you are going to think that's super dorky, but if you're like me and you do a lot of setups and teardowns, then it makes a lot of sense. And anyways, whoever you are, you're either going to end up moving or selling your gear at some point, and this will make life a lot easier for you in the long run. So not counting the unboxing, it ended up taking me exactly 44 minutes to get everything set up and plugged in and working properly, and that was followed up by a quick 3-minute update for the PS4 Pro. Now the total cost of the gaming system and all the accessories was $1,184.29, and the 49-inch 2016 Samsung KS8000 TV cost $1,800 when it was new, but you can actually pick one up for well under $1,000 right now. And again, the links for all this gear are down in the description. All right, so that wraps it up for this episode, but still to come are gonna be plenty of settings, tests, demos, my reviews, and of course the comparison with the Xbox One S. And actually all those episodes are already online, so you can watch those right now. But make sure you subscribe for more episodes of amazing setups every single month, and don't forget to follow @DailyTech on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And right now, stay tuned for episode 2. Later.